Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be talking about the March 2nd, 2022 New Moon in Pisces, Part 2 of 2. Now, the new moon is going to fall at 12 degrees Pisces. Now, as far as Sabian symbols go, there may be diminished valor and fortitude in connection with embarking on something new connected with the new moon in Pisces. Now, there may be a tendency to enlarge and distort matters. Some may make a bigger issue of initiating a project or endeavor that they need to at this time. Now, it's important to remember that if something needs to be initiated or started, laborious work may come with it, and in some instances, greater upsetment and exasperation may occur if one doesn't start what needs to be done, as opposed to actually starting something. Now, another thing too is that it's also important to look at other electional transits that take place at the time of the new moon, as they will be amplified and intensified because they are taking place at the time of the new moon. Now, there's going to be a three-planet stellium involving Venus, Mars, and Pluto in Capricorn. Now, the energy can be very integrated, and the stellium is broken down systematically. What starts out with the first planet culminates with the final one. Now, it basically forms an astrological statement. What may start out in this case, it could possibly be some kind of peace and reconciliation, which is Venus, continues with the military and war, which is Mars, and ends with something nuclear, which is Pluto. Perhaps there's going to be some kind of peaceful, reconciliation that's connected with this war. That is nuclear, that's involving missiles, that's connected, of course, with Ukraine and Russia. Now, with this being in Capricorn, as you know, this is can be government related. As far as the Ukraine-Russia war goes, it is government related, of course. Now, also, there's going to be a conjunction between Mercury and Saturn in Aquarius. Now, this can intensify responsibility and laborious work, which is Saturn, involving writings, which is Mercury, associated could be with astrology, astronomy, computers, meteorology, aviation, innovation, which is Aquarius. Now, this conjunction can also manifest in much concentration, which is Saturn, on astrological, which is Aquarius, communications, and of course that's Mercury. The new moon in Pisces can indicate the start of something associated with the metaphysical, which includes astrology. Pisces is also connected with film and video. So with this dominant Aquarius Pisces energy taking place at the time of this new moon, I see this as being a very auspicious time for YouTube astrologers because of this. The Saturn-Mercury conjunction in Aquarius may also manifest in some kind of restriction in communications, which may be associated with the internet, and the internet, of course, is connected with Aquarius. Now, it's also important to look at other transits made to your natal chart at this time, as they will be intensified because they're taking place at the same time as the new moon. Now, in my case, transit Venus in Capricorn is going to make a sextile to my natal Neptune and Scorpio in the 7th house. Now, one way this may manifest is having the money, which is Venus, in spending in a disciplined manner, that's Capricorn, going towards compassionate, which is Neptune, support, which is Scorpio, for others in general, which is the 7th house. Now, I want to say something else with this chart for this day. Just bear with me, people. Now, it could also be, for the way I see it, this transit I'm getting, it could also be about receiving money, which is Venus, for something business or career related, which is Capricorn. It could be by means of receiving that. It could be through that same compassionate, which is Neptune, support, which is Scorpio, from others, again, the 7th house. and it might be working for me as opposed to me, giving somebody, support monetarily, or it might be a little bit of both during this time for me. Now, also too, what's interesting now, going back to the Russia-Ukraine saga, now the new moon in Pisces is going to fall in Russia's seventh house, and we could be hopeful that this could manifest in the beginning process of surrendering or yielding, which is Pisces, to the open adversary, which is the seventh house. In case that would be Ukraine, one could be hopeful. Now, it could also signify the beginning, which is the new moon, of something idealistic, which is Pisces, and idealistic negotiations, and that's the negotiations are associated with the seventh house. Now, this new moon will also conjoin Russia's natal Uranus, which is associated with things that are cyber. If Russia has attempted to hack in any of Ukraine's computers, maybe this may be the beginning process of the ending of this. Interestingly enough, when the full moon in Virgo arrives on March 18th, it will loosely, at least loosely conjunct Ukraine's natal Mars in Virgo in the 8th house. Now, hopefully, this may signify the ending, which is the full moon, of a war and battle, which is Mars, that is considered nuclear. 8th house is connected with things that are nuclear. Now, the fact that this is in Virgo may signify these attacks were done in a very systematic manner, and they may have been done with much precision, focusing on a very precise and exact spots that would be targeted with missiles. Now, also the full moon in Virgo will loosely conjoin Russia's natal north node. This indicates something that that may end, which is the full moon, and it's something that may need to be addressed and confronted as well in the process, and that's the north node. It's going to fall in their second house, so it's something that could Russia says it's going to fall in Russia's second house, so it's something that could have affected their resources and monetary situation. Some countries, as many of you may know, have stopped doing business with Russia due to the attack on Ukraine. Now, last but not least, on a lighter note, okay, there's going to be it's like a mind, body, and spirit yoga class, which is going to be held in Elgin, Texas, on the day of this new moon in Pisces. And in the, I guess you call it the URL that's connected with this event, on that webpage, it states, quote, Reiki, I don't know if I'm saying it right, Reiki is a holistic way to connect an individual's light forces within that is warm and nurturing and gives a person the ability to connect to their inner life forces. Now, life is associated with the sun, and the moon is nurturing energy. When you have the new moon, of course, the sun conjuncts the moon. It can be very integrated. Now, again, of course, on the new moon, these planets will be conjunct one another. And in the description on the URL, on the web page, it states yoga focuses on the goal of enlightenment, or I don't know if I'm saying it right, moksha plus spiritual enlightenment. Now, spirituality, of course, is associated with Pisces, and this may be the beginning time for many for spiritual enlightenment. The sun is known to shine a light on things, and the sun is about focus as well. So, anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, Edwin Learnard saying stay well.